Today I want to share with you about the insane history of sex ed in the USA. In 1904, Stanley Hall, a psychologist and president of Clark University, published a 2-volume work on adolescence that became highly influential. He said masturbation would be the downfall of modern society. This propaganda became the basis for circumcising male babies in the USA, and for a short time even resulted in putting acid on the clitorises of baby girls. These barbaric practices were meant to prevent masturbation later in life. Hall believes sexuality must be repressed and controlled in order to create a better society. He promoted abstinence and proudly bragged about not having sex with his wife, although he did receive a daily enema from a handsome male orderly. Unfortunately, Hall's theories became the basis for sex education, and his flawed beliefs are still perpetuated today. Since 1982, the federal government has spent over $2 billion on abstinence-only until marriage sex education programs.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die.
This is in spite of the fact that we now know that abstinence-only education does not work. Sex ed is not even funded federally. 29 states and the District of Columbia have laws that mandate sex education, but of these, only 13 states require the curriculum to be medically accurate. Only 9 states require discussion of LGBTQ identities and relationships. Basically, it's still the same repression-based education that Hall came up with in 1904. But it's 2020, and imagine if we were still using typewriters or the Wright brothers' original planes. What if we were wearing old-fashioned trends like wool suits in the summer? Or if women couldn't vote? Or what if we were still abiding by segregation laws? How wrong and absurd would that be? But somehow sex ed is still operating like it's over 100 years ago. Wouldn't you say it's time for an update? Many parents still feel uncomfortable with their own sexuality and at a loss for how to prepare their children. But the reality is that with the lack of adequate sex education in schools, it's up to us as parents to rise to the occasion and figure it out. We need to band together and educate ourselves so that we can answer our children's questions and help them create positive relationships with their body and sexuality. We know from the success of early sex ed programs in countries like the Netherlands that starting the conversation as early as possible leads to the best outcomes later on. Because when you get down to it, kids don't have the hang-ups around this stuff. Adults do. But it's our responsibility as parents to work through our issues and give our kids a better, more informed start. Don't let the legacy of Stanley Hall hurt the future of your kids. Let's write a new story together that's free of shame and full of self-knowledge.